All right, we live. What's up, dog?
Yo, what's up, bro? Good to
What's
see
up?
you.
Me too, brother. So we're gonna get into rehab romances, man. I'd say about a week ago. Our audio's good. About a week ago, bro. I got a question from a subscriber, and it asked. She watched, I guess, my rehab romance videos. I have two of them out there, and she left a comment. Why do we think most rehab romances fail, man? And so we're going to be getting into that, man. My experience in co-ed rehabs, I went to two of them, and I was watching your video earlier, and like you said right off the bat, like, why do they house men and women in rehabs, right? Because you know how it is, man. Once you get clean and
Crazy.
sober, like in the first week, like your body starts calibrating, your body's going wild, hormones going wild. So we'll be getting into that, man.
Mhm. Okay, like you said, I wondered the same thing. I've been in many detoxes, many of them. I've even been in co-ed halfway houses, and it's crazy. It creates drama. But we're not talking about the halfway houses. We're going to talk about like the detoxes short term. 7 days. And the majority of the detoxes I've been to, yes, they house you in co-ed environments. And when you're coming off drugs, the hormones are kicking up. And it's kind of crazy. If they want you to focus on your rehabilitation, if they want you to focus on your recovery, why are they going to put you in there co-ed? I don't know. When we're coming off drugs, yes, hormones kick up. Not to get explicit, but you get horny, and one thing leads to the other, and most of the time, it's not good. It's not good. This is an expression where we say where we're from in Massachusetts, two wellies don't make a right. So I don't know if so I don't know if you know what a welly is, but a
No,
welly is a Wellbutrin. If you guys know what Wellbutrin is, two wellies don't make a right. So pretty much two recovering addicts or two recovering addicts, two recovering alcoholics or two recovering addicts don't make a right. It never ends good.
never ends good, man. And it usually starts, like, for me, like it usually starts either in a meeting or this the last one I was in, like I was
The
like in
meetings are the worst, bro.
yeah, and it's usually the
Yeah.
girl.
The
It's
meetings
usually,
are even worse than the fucking programs.
yeah, bro, and it's usually the
Yeah,
girl. She's sitting right across from you. The odds never lie, Chico, like Tony Montana says, man. And right off the bat, you know something's gonna happen, man. Like it's the epitome of chemistry because like your body's recalibrating. Like I said, I was using for so long, my body was numb, my emotions were numb, I couldn't feel anything, man.
exactly.
And then that first week, you start feeling good, after you get past like the detox and all that. And the post acute withdrawals just around the corner. Your highs are high, your lows are low. And then you see this beautiful thing sitting across from you or even next to you, man. You spark up a conversation, boom, it just goes, bro. It just goes, man. Um, so how many rehab romances have you been in?
Me, all right. So I want to say detoxes. If you guys have been following me, I've been in many detoxes. I've probably been roughly, this is a rough estimate, probably about 80 detoxes and rehab romances. I want to say maybe about six or seven. I've probably been about six or seven, so that's what 10%. But I do see it happening. It's not like every detox I go to. Yes, there's a rehab romance, detox romance going on, um, and it's not like necessarily I'm in one of them. But yeah, I'd say out of the roughly 80 detoxes I've been to, I've probably been at least yeah like five to seven, six to eight. I I can't give you an honest number because I don't know. But I've been in a few. I've definitely been in a few. It's too many for me to give an exact number. It's been a few.
Oh man, I feel you, bro. It's
It's been a few, bro.
yeah,
Because
it's a
it
bit,
happens, bro. Like it comes out of nowhere. It's like when you're least expecting it, like bam, here comes Katie or here comes Tara.
yep,
Mm,
yep, and it kind of brings out the little boy in me too, because like I know I'm not supposed to be doing this, but it's fun. You feel good, and that
exactly.
I was shot out for so long, bro. 145 pounds, clothes were hanging off me, and that slightest attention, bro, it makes you
It
feel good.
hits.
It makes you feel good. You start gaining your weight back, start working out, maybe whatever, and it just happens naturally, bro. Um, I think I researched this exact question, like why do they house men and women like in the same rehab? I typed that into Chat GPT and I let AI solve it for me, right? So I think it oh, I see Mary. Shout out Mary.
What's
But
up, man?
yeah, good to see you, Mary. Thank you for being here. Um, but yeah, I researched it, and Chat GPT said that to the reason one of the main reasons is to get the men and women's perspective, for each other. But I think I don't know, the creators of Rehab, they really didn't know like exactly what's going to happen and all that good stuff. Um, there's Timothy. What up, brother? Good seeing you, man.
Tim. What's up, Tim?
Good seeing you, man. But I'm sure there's other reasons, man. But I think one of the main reasons is, just to get the female perspective, the male perspective. But I think the rehab managers, they definitely know what they're getting themselves into. Once you open up a rehab and it's going to be co-ed, I don't think there's enough training that they could go through to prepare themselves for the various scenarios that we get ourselves into, man. Um, but but yeah, dude. So I guess let's get into it, man. Um, why do most rehab romances fail? And personally, man, for me, my rehab romance encounters never really went past rehab, except for this one time. I successfully discharged from rehab, and then about 2 weeks later, the girl I was talking to, hanging out with, all that good stuff, she was due to get out. So she'd be trying to sneak phone calls to call me, because I was at a sober living at the time. And before I left the rehab, we both got caught, and they put us on a no contact order. And
Yeah.
there were like 2 rows of rooms, and she was like right across from me. So it was technically really impossible for them to keep us separate, but we couldn't just talk to each other and hang out, whatever, right? So anyway, she had to sneak and sneak phone calls and all that, and until she got out. Then we hung out a few times, and then for me, man, once she got out, I saw her. This may sound petty. It is petty, like on my part, but I
It's
saw her,
Betty. It's always they're all
and it was like, dude, I was really feeling things for that. I don't know if she was thinking about like for me, but I was like, man, like she didn't look the same because I was already around a bunch of girls at other meetings and hanging out with other girls, and then I see her again, and I kind of got turned off. You know what I mean? And it was all superficial on my part. So in my experience, like that didn't go any further until the few times that we hung out, like after she got out of rehab. We hung out, did our thing, and that was it. She'd still try to call, hang out with me and all that. But honestly, man, I was just turned off. I was like, okay, she's really not that hot. But when I was in there,
not, bro. She's not because I'm sorry to cut you off, but
you're good.
when you're in these programs, you see the people as they are in these programs. And once you get out of these programs, like when you see somebody that's in a program, or whether it's jail or wherever, and then you see them on the street, you see them in a whole different light, bro. You see them, they might not be so attractive, they might not be so, you know, friendly or whatever you want to say. Once you get out of these programs, it's like when you're confined in these walls, you see them in a different light.
Yeah. So for me, man, aside from my experience, I think other rehab romances fail because one person could be ready and the other person could not be ready, right? I was the type to always have my mind made up and be like, yeah, I'm going to relapse or I'm going to get high. You know what I mean? So one person could be ready and the other person could not be ready. And, the person that's ready is just like, all right, you got to cut loose, man. So that's another reason why I think, the rehab romances fail. So what else could you think of, man?
How they fail is
Yeah. Like what's another reason that a rehab romance could fail or why they fail?
I mean, man, there's a dozen reasons why they could fail. I mean, you guys could think that, oh, I'm just an alcoholic. Oh, I'm a heroin addict. You're just an alcoholic. We could make a good mix, and then, maybe you might get out a few months down the road. Boom. Now all of a sudden you're addicted to alcohol because she's an alcoholic and you're a heroin addict. You're gonna share your habits with each other. You
Yeah.
know, there's a lot of reasons, man. Like and when you're in these programs, a lot of people lie. A lot of people are not honest. You see one person in this program, and like I was saying just before, people in these programs, they're not the same on the street as they are in these programs. You meet somebody in the program and you talk, you get to know each other, this and that. They tell you, obviously they're going to tell you the good things, and then you get out and you see all the ugly side. You say, oh, now I understand why you were in this rehab. You know what I mean? um
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah.
Exactly, because when you're in these rehabs, you're sharing your struggles, you're sharing deep shit, bro. Like, I've gotten to know, I'm not even gonna lie, man. Like, I've been to so many of these places. Like, when you're in these places, you really get to know people. Like, you give heart to hearts. You know what I mean? But it's a whole different thing once you hit the street. You know, you can see the good in people when you're clean, and maybe that's what it is. Because when you're in the program, you're clean, and then once you hit the street, it's like it's a whole different person, man. It's a whole different person, and then you see, damn, I fucking understand why you're in these programs.
Yeah, you see and you get to experience all their character defects, and they're kind of magnified because
Exactly.
they're sober as well. They're newly sober, so their body's calibrating as well, and they haven't had a chance to like balance itself out. So it's that's a really good point, man. I made I think I made either a video or a comment, something like that. How rehab and jail too is those are two of the only places where you figure out everybody's crap first before you get to know them, right? Like it's kind of like a reverse uh newly friendship, right? Because you figure out everyone's dirt before you get to really know anything else about them. You're in the meeting and you hear about bad situations they've been through or negative opinions they might have. And I'd say rehab and jail, man, are probably some of the only places where you know everybody's crap and bad things about them before anything else, because when you get to meet somebody like at a bar or a restaurant, you don't find out all their stuff, like till years down the road. Um, it's a trip, man. It's crazy.
No, I completely agree with you, bro. It's like reverse meeting somebody. Like you said, you meet
Yeah.
somebody at a bar, or you meet somebody on the street. But yeah, when you're in these places, they vent to you and they tell you all these things, and you can relate to them. And you sympathize with them or whatever you want to say. And you think, because in your mind, like, you're not that bad of a person. But once you hit the street, you see the craziness. I mean, I've been in a few of these detox romances, and they never end good. I mean, they never end good. They don't. Um, like I said, the first one I met, I just told the story on my channel the other night. She ended up batshit crazy. And as we go on, I've had a few that most of them stay inside the walls. Like, so let me put it like this: like, when you're in these programs, like, and you meet this girl or you meet this guy, most of it stays in there because 9 times out of 10, when you leave this program, you're going back to the same things you used to do. And, you may leave him or her your number or this and that, but they're not going to answer the phone. It's not going to go nowhere. But, when it does go somewhere, it goes to, it goes to darker places than you were before you came in there.
Yeah.
And they can really drag you down. They can.
Yeah, man, it's really dangerous too. I've never had this happen to me, like personally, but I've been in rehabs where two people meet, and one of the it's usually the guy, he gets either in an argument with staff or somebody else, and he's like, "F it, man, I'm gonna leave." And then that person there, the other girl, she doesn't want to let him go, so she'll check out early, and her chance of recovery, her future is altered at that point. Because usually when someone's pissed off, chances are they're going to be getting high first thing, even before they get home. As soon as they leave the rehab, they're going to hit up the nearest Circle K gas station, possibly pick up a pint of alcohol or whatever, and that's a whole recipe for disaster, man. I definitely, for the people that are watching, we're not advising, rehab romances. We're not
No,
we're not recommending them, but
don't do it.
they happen. You know what I mean? Like, learn from us. Um, yeah, it's a very dangerous situation. So many bad things could happen, man. Um, so yeah, those are some really good points, man. I'm gonna see if we got any other comments here. Have you ever got busted by staff, or said stay away from her, like during a rehab romance?
Yeah, I have. I definitely have. And they put a 10 feet stay away between us, and that's what happens.
Yeah,
Say caught doing this in that room, they're like, "Oh, you guys got to stay 10 feet apart." But when it comes down to it, at least where I'm from, Massachusetts, the staff, they really don't care. They don't, and they're gonna, obviously they got to enforce the rules. And I'll put it to you this way. I mean, I was caught doing this in a room with this one. And then, they're like, "Where are you going?" She left before I did. And I said, "I'm going to this address." And they said, "Oh, isn't that where she lived?" They called her on the phone, approved the residence, and boom, they're sending me off to her. So, no, they don't really care. They, they don't care.
yeah,
I mean, they're just doing their job at the end of the day. I mean, what could you expect? If you worked in one of these places, um, you know, what can you do about it? You, I,
yeah,
to me, it's ridiculous. Like, yes, like I said, back in the day, I used to be so excited. I mean, like, that's how we used to base where we're going. Because, there's certain places that are men only, there's certain places that are co ed, and, there's certain places that are female only. Obviously, everybody was trying to go to the co ed places.
yeah,
What I'm trying to say is, they know what's happening. The majority of the people that work in these places, they're recovering addicts too, who have been through these places. You
yeah,
know, to me, it's crazy. Because once you get clean, you're definitely going to try to replace. That's what you're trying to do. You're trying to replace your addiction. You're trying to fill a void. At least for me, you know, that's what you try to do. You get clean from drugs, you fill the void with a woman.
yeah. That's facts, dude. That's a really good point, man. I'd say about a month after I got out of my last rehab, I was a life coach, and I got my certification inside rehab on my last month to be a recovery sports specialist. So I got out of rehab, was looking for a job, and I got hooked up as a life coach, at a treatment center. So I got to work with young kids, like ages 15 to like early 20s, and it was all boys. They were young kids, man. I could have been these kids' dad. And there were a few times, after they do their chores and all that, they get like day passes or they get to leave the rehab for like a few hours and stuff. And there were so many little stories that went down. There was like a sober living that was a part of the rehab just down the street. And these kids would go hang out with the guys that are in sober living, and they'd have girls come over. Understandably, man, I was the reason why I think these kids gravitated towards me and that they thought I was the cool life coach, the cool employee, was because I just got out of rehab. I know how it is, man. You know,
That's
I
exactly
let yeah,
it
I
is.
I let certain things slide. Nothing that would really get them into like danger, you know what I mean? But there were times where we'd all hop in the van and I would take them to go hang out with girls, and they were allowed to, they were allowed to. So, I definitely remember how those moments were cool, man. I don't know where I was going with that, but yeah, like you were saying, staff has like a huge responsibility, and
I
you know,
mean, bro, I'm gonna put it
a lot.
like, I'm sorry to cut you off,
Oh,
but
you did.
I mean, this shit, it goes deep in these programs, you know. Once somebody stops using drugs, they're gonna, seek out something else that feels good to them. And what's the next best thing to drugs is, you know,
Mm-hmm.
I hate to say it, pussy.
Yep.
Um, I was in a program, this is a true story. My roommate, we're in I'm not gonna say the program's name. This is probably about 2019. And obviously, you've been to these programs and you know a lot of the workers there are recovering addicts, also. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So it's like these detoxes, they're being run by recovering addicts. So my roommate, long story short, ended up hooking up with a staff member in together, bro. Like, I was his roommate. She was the staff member. She's a recovering addict also. I want to say she had about 4 to 5 years clean at the time from heroin. And literally, she was, bringing us in cigarettes. She was, I mean, I know we're on YouTube. She was kind of like, like fucking this guy in the bathroom.
Yeah.
Now they have a bed. I mean, now they have a baby together. That's how these places are, man. It's like, you go in there, and it's the same thing with NA. I mean, NA or NA. You go there. NA or NA is probably even worse than these detoxes are talking about. It's pretty much like a fuck fest. I'm not going to lie, bro. It is like, I mean, that's what it is. You just got to be careful where you meet people at, because at the end of the day, at least what I've learned, I got to focus on me. I've
Yeah.
fell victim to this many, many times. I've had many detox romances. I've had many, I'm not going to say NA or NA romances,
Yeah.
because I don't go to meetings like that, but just be careful where you meet people at. It may seem good in the beginning, but it never ends good, man. Like,
Yeah.
it never ends good.
Yeah, man. Deja left a comment right now. High school on steroids, and that's
Mm.
I agree, dude. Because I physically felt like I was in high school again. I felt like 15, 16 years old, just on a rampage, bro. Like not like predatorial vibes, but just like fueled with testosterone and just ready for the world, bro. Um, so I don't want to keep you too much longer. What advice do you have for somebody that's thinking on going to rehab? Because some people, when they go to rehab, they don't know if it's going to be like right off the tip. They don't know if it's going to be a co-ed or not. But if somebody's serious about their recovery and they end up landing in a co-ed rehab, what advice would you give them to successfully complete the program if they are at a co-ed rehab?
I mean, if you're going to be at a co-ed rehab, I definitely understand, like, the temptations are going to be there. They are. And you can't really, get those temptations out of your mind. But I'm going to tell you from past experience, I've been there many, many times. It's not worth it. It's not. You're going to meet this girl or you're going to meet this guy, and 9.5 times out of 10, they're going to drag you down deeper than you were before you were in there. My best advice to you, if you're going into one of these rehabs, stick to yourself. Just, and it's not, I'm not just saying, don't get involved with women. Just do your own thing. That's the best thing to do. Whether you are in jail or in a program or on the street, just stick to yourself. Do your own thing. Because, like I said, 9.5 times out of 10, you're not going to be seeing these people on the street. You're not. Don't get caught up in it. Just remember why you're there, and do what you have to do. Just don't get caught up with people. That's probably the worst thing you can do, is get caught up with people. Because I fell victim to it myself, men and women. I've ran off from programs with men. I'm not saying, it's not like I'm gay, but like, yes, I've ran off from programs with men to use. I've also ran off with women to use. And more likely than not, it's going to be the opposite sex that brings you down. Just remember why you're in there, and also remember why they're in there. Everybody's in there for a reason. It's not the best place to meet a partner. Yeah, sure, maybe sometimes it might work out, but just remember, you guys are in there for a reason. Just ride it out yourself, be there for yourself, and just focus on yourself. I wish I could have told this to my younger self. Just focus on yourself. Things will fall in place for you a year or two from now. As long as you continue to do the next right thing, as corny as it sounds, like, good things will happen to you. I know that from experience, and just focus on yourself. There's plenty of women in the world. There's plenty of men in the world. That's the last place you need to meet somebody is, when you're in these programs, we're all at our lowest point. We're at our lowest point. And, just go up a little bit from there. It's not where you need to meet somebody. That's what I got to say.
Facts, dude. That's 100% solid. I know somebody's going to clip that part where you said, I even ran off with men.
Yo, bro, but I have.
Someone's going to clip that, dog. I know it.
It's not like that.
No, I know. I'm just kidding. I know. You meet up with somebody or a group of dudes and it's like, fuck it. Let's go do our thing. Right.
Exactly.
I know how it is, man. I've seen it before too. And then I've also seen them trying to sneak back. So, and they get busted, and they're some of the guys are even there, court ordered, and their opportunity is screwed. Next thing you know, they're serving prison sentence, man. So one of the things I've always, we'll finish it off with this, man. I appreciate your time. I know this was a random one.
No, I have plenty of time, bro.
Right on, man. One of the things I've always said is to give yourself a chance, right? That's one of the things I never really did, is give yourself a chance. And one of the thing that, one thing you said that's golden is, remember why you're there in the first place. Remember how you felt at your lowest point right before you got into rehab. Like, remember that, but I know how it is as well, man. Like, it's always really hard remembering that, like, once you get faced with that situation. So I guess my recommendation is, in NA, AA, you'll hear people say, play the tape through, right? If I end up hooking up with this chick, play the tape through. What if I get busted? These things are going to happen. What if I get her pregnant? These things will happen. What if the condom breaks? This is going to happen. So just play the tape through, bro. I know a lot of people who've been through the program. They've heard it before, man. Could you think of anything else, any other reasons why most rehab romances fail? I don't even know if it's most, but I do know a lot.
Yeah, it's most, man. Why do they fail? It's
Yeah.
because when you're in rehab, I mean, would you want to date yourself? You see what I'm saying? Would you want to date yourself? Because basically, that's what you're doing. You guys are both there for the same exact thing. And yeah, it's all sweet and lovely when you're in a controlled environment, because that's what it is. When you're in these places, it's a controlled environment. And everything's all sweet and lovely while you guys are in there. But think about it. Would you know what you were doing on the street? And she knows what she was doing on the street, or he, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But would you want to date yourself? You know what I mean? It's just not the place. It's not the place and time. I've learned it from experience. Life goes on. It does. Rehab is a very short time in your life. You're gonna have years down the road. Give yourself some time. Don't let yourself get caught up in something that's gonna, bring yourself down. Because, like I said, you don't want to date yourself. That's basically what you're doing. You're putting yourself with yourself, and 9 times out of 10, you're gonna drag yourself down. Maybe sometimes, yeah, it might work. It might work sometimes, and yeah, maybe you might hear a success story and be, well, I know this guy and this girl who met each other in detox, but it's most likely not going to be you. So
Yeah. Yeah. That's definitely facts, man. Definitely valid. Maybe another reason I think is, the majority of people in rehab, I don't know about the higher end ones, but the ones I've been to, a lot of us were broke, you know? So the majority of rehab romances get sparked with like a sexual element, a lust element, and then once that's complete, you know, um, at least for the guy's part, for my part, I was kind of over it already. I was kind of over her. You know what I mean? I have no shame saying that because that's just how it is, man. Once you sleep with this person, it's like, all right, we're done here. You know what I mean? And then for my situation, once I discharged from rehab, I was around a bunch of different other girls, man, and I was just having fun, just being young and dumb and having fun. And then when she got out, I took a second look at her. I was like, all right, she's really not all that she was hyped up to be, and kind of feel like an a-hole saying that and doing that because I really kind of shined her off. But that's just like another situation that could happen, man. I have no problem saying that, but I saw her and talked to her down the road, so I did apologize for kind of like leaving her in the dust because I guess she kind of did like me, but I made my amends and we were cool. Hopefully she's good. Um, but yeah, man, I think that's really all that we have for the people that are watching this on the replay. If you could think of any other reasons, man, leave them in the comments. Um, Shout out to you, man, for hopping on this topic with me, dude. Because I saw your video today, man. Fire video, bro. Fire video. I watched it twice actually. So I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna share it on my community page. That way everybody else could check it out. Send some traffic your way, man. Let people know where they could find you, man.
I mean, you can find me on YouTube, at Dopius with a little underscore, but I'm pretty sure if you type in Dopius, that'll bring you right to me. Or on Instagram. You can always hit me up on Instagram. I'm more than happy to talk to you. I post more like, behind the scenes type stuff on Instagram. But yeah, hit me up on YouTube. I got some I've been through some stuff. I definitely been through some stuff. Thankfully, I'm here to talk about it, and that's where you can find me. You
Hell
know,
yeah. Hell yeah, man. Well, I'm happy to have you back, man. Your stories are crazy, and like you're really good at delivering each word. Like you don't waste your words. A lot of a lot of my videos, every video you'll hear at least a and or or you know what I mean. You'll hear me like looking at the butterflies flying around my room.
do it too.
But like you look directly at the camera and you go in there with intent to deliver the story and it's phenomenal, bro. You know, your numbers, your views speak for itself. So, you know, it's a pleasure to have you on here, dog. It's a pleasure to talk to you behind the scenes, and you know, it's just awesome, man. I really appreciate it, brother.
No,
So,
bro. I mean, I feel like, yeah, going live and all this is a little bit different than me, you know, just recording a video. Um, I appreciate what you said. I do. I mean, yes, I get good support. I love all the people that follow me and like my videos and, you know, this and that. But at the end of the day, I'm just somebody who's just telling my story, and I don't know. That's it.
all right, on, bro. Well, thank you, man. Thanks again, brother. Yeah, I'll talk to you soon, man. Thank you
Yeah,
for everybody watching. Hit that like, and we'll be back, man. Definitely check out Chris at Dopiates.
and make sure to check out Righteous Monkey. I'll see
Right
you.
on. All right, guys. Thanks for watching. Later, bro.
All right, later.